On Sunday night, Michael Harris II made a great catch, followed by a great heads-up play by Austin Riley, doubling up Bryce Harper at first base to end the game and save the Atlanta Braves season. If they lose that game, they're down 0-2 heading to a hostile Philly crowd. Huge win. The Braves are, of course, pumped up, and after the game, it was reported that Orlando Arcia, the Braves shortstop, started hysterically laughing throughout the Braves clubhouse, yelling, "Attaboy Harper." Now, right away, I was skeptical that this was even real because it's not common for reporters to report something like that, like something that wasn't like from an actual interview and one-on-one interaction from the player, especially when it's something pretty harmless like words. It's not like Arcia punched someone or said anything that derogatory or anything. Obviously, that probably should be a story, but as far as him saying "Attaboy Harper" and laughing slash mocking him regarding him getting thrown out to end the game, I mean, stuff like that happens all the damn time. Players talking shit about opposing players. Obviously, not a rare thing to happen. So, I guess it's not a fireable offense necessarily to report something like that, but it definitely hurts the trust between the players to these reporters, and we'll get to that in a bit. But Arcia's mocking of Harper going public and, of course, viral was not something the Braves needed. It was a big win, a win they clearly needed, but the last thing this team needs is adding any fuel to the fire that is Bryce Harper and an overall Phillies team that has proven they can take care of business going back to Philly with the series tied, something they did last year, winning games 3 and 4 at home to win the series after winning game 1 and losing game 2 in Atlanta. Bryce Harper is made for the moment, we all know that, so you know this was going to fire the Phillies up, Harper especially, just straight bulletin board material, and it worked for Philly. Game 3 was a nightmare for the Braves. They started the scoring in the third, only for the Phillies to respond by scoring 6 runs, with 3 of them coming via one swing off the bat of Bryce Harper, annihilating a slider from Bryce Elder, and while rounding second base, stared down Orlando Arcia. 2 innings later, Harper would go deep again, staring down Arcia again. 3 more home runs were hit by the Phillies. They'd just steamroll through the Braves and win it 10-2, taking a 2-1 series lead into Game 4, just one win away from ending the Braves yet again. While touching home plate on his first home run, Harper did a throat-slashing gesture toward his teammates, and the Braves radio announcers were not too happy about it.
When you cross the plate, I guess the game is over because Harper just gave a throat-slashing sign as he stepped on home plate.
After Harper's second home run, he did the throat-slashing gesture again, and not only were the Braves announcers still pissed about it, but they even alluded to Harper being disrespectful and tasteless, considering what's currently going on overseas between Israel and Palestine.
Again, gave the throat-slashing sign, which, given today's climate around the world, I'm not sure that's quite appropriate what anybody wants to see.
I actually covered something similar earlier this year, except it was of the exact opposite sides though. Marcell Ozuna had just hit a home run against the Phillies in Philly, and then did a celebration with Ron Washington while rounding third. The Phillies radio announcers were not happy, voicing their frustration on Ozuna's quote-unquote little hand dance, calling it a joke, while also referring to Ron Washington as unprofessional. Later on in the season, Phillies manager Rob Thompson threw shade at Ronald Acuna Jr., saying that he likes his guys to act like they've been there before. So obviously people in Philly aren't too happy about the Braves home run celebrations, and yet here we are with the Braves announcers not loving what Harper did. I will say though, this is a little different of a situation. Ozuna always does his celebration with Ron Washington after a homer, and Acuna always flaps his wings on a home run trot, and Harper doing the throat slash gesture was a first and kind of in the moment thing. Now obviously the Braves announcers aren't happy in general, considering Harper just hit a big 3-run bomb against their team, and again it is a tad different because they seemed upset Harper was almost celebrating too early, and then they kind of brought up that he's being disrespectful, whatever. But then again, was Orlando Arcia not celebrating too early? I mean, obviously his mockery of Harper was really premature, and after the game, after Harper went God mode and smashed 2 home runs, staring at Arcia twice in the process, Arcia was asked about it, and he acknowledged what he said through a translator, which finally gave the ultimate confirmation to me that he actually said it in the first place, because I still wasn't even completely sure if this was even real, if this happened. Some were saying since Arcia doesn't even know English well at all, it could have been made up. But it wasn't. Arcia confirmed that he did joke about Harper after Game 2 and mocked his name, but also said that the reporter was not supposed to hear that, adding on that some people put out what they shouldn't put out and that they're snitches or gossips. And this then brings us back to if this should have even left the clubhouse to begin with. At the end of the day, Arcia probably should have put more thought into where and when he started joking about Harper, as he should have realized a third-party source could overhear him and then make those comments, which were supposed to be private, go public. But at the same time, like I said earlier, players mock opposing players all the time. It's really not an uncommon thing at all, obviously. And I'm sure there are tons of examples of players saying stuff that never went public, either because no reporter heard it, or the reporters or reporter who did hear it decided to keep it within the clubhouse. It also makes the players lose trust with these people, something Braves catcher Travis d'Arnaud talked about.
He was joking around, but it screws all the other reporters and everybody who comes in here and has been great with us all year, and we feel like this is a sanctuary where we come to work every day, and when things get out, which I'm sure other teams say things as well, it's not a good feeling, and it makes nobody wants to be in the clubhouse.
Either way, it was perfect fuel to the fire for Bryce Harper. The Braves are now on the verge of elimination to the Phillies for the second year in a row. The Braves announcers are losing their minds. I mean, things are getting pretty out of hand. Lesson learned, everyone. Don't poke the bear, especially when that bear is Bryce Harper. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.